Hello, my name is David Quantick. I'm a writer and I've been very kindly asked to make this special video of me reading from my book, Ricky's Hand, by me, David Quantick. Here we go, Chapter 1, Page 1. One morning, Ricky Smart looked down at his hand and screamed. Ricky thought of himself as an observant guy. It went with the job, which was taking photographs of people who didn't know he was taking photographs of them. Ricky called himself a paparazzi, although the right word was paparazzo, and everybody else just called him a creep. But he made money selling the pictures to websites and newspapers, although it wasn't a lot of money because nobody cared about quality anymore, and any clown could take a photograph of a celebrity with their phone. It wasn't much of a living, but it was a life, until the day he looked down at his hand and screamed. He woke up that morning without a hangover, which was a bonus. Ricky checked all the things in his head that he might need to know before he got up. Where was he? Had he done anything last night that he needed to be worried about? Would he fall over if he got up? And so on. The list complete. In my own bed? No, probably not. He opened his eyes and lifted his arm to look at his watch. His eyes were still gummy from sleep and dehydration, so for a moment it was hard to focus. But after he screwed up his eyes and blinked, Ricky could see that his watch was not on his wrist. This was odd. Ricky was very much someone who slept with his watch on. Not only was it practical, it also saved messing with the complexities of a strap while drunk. Also, Ricky had no memory of taking the watch off. True, he had no memory of a lot of things, including all of July 2009, but taking his watch off was something he would have remembered, if only because last night had been so dull that taking his watch off would have been a high point. And yet, there it was. No watch. Ricky lifted his hand to look more closely at the place where his watch should be, and then he froze. There was something wrong. It was his hand. It was different. Ricky rotated his wrist to examine it more closely. His hand looked perfectly okay as hands go. 4 fingers, a thumb, all the nails, everything present and correct. But it wasn't right. First, it was the wrong weight. Ricky had no idea how much his hands weighed because they'd never been detached from his arms and put on a set of scales. But he would have said they were probably the same weight as each other. But this hand seemed to be a little heavier than the other. All his life, Ricky had felt fairly balanced in the matter of hands, but now he felt like someone had stuck. I'll start again. But now he felt like someone had stuck 2 large and differently sized vegetables on the end of his wrists. Second, there was the shape. This hand seemed to be a bit stockier than the other one, like it was the hand of someone who worked outdoors or lifted weights or some physical shit like that. And third, there were some scars that he had definitely never seen before. Not new scars either, but the kind of whitened, hard scars that time had worked on. What the hell? Ricky mumbled to himself. The whole thing was stupid. People didn't wake up with new hands like Frankenstein or something. They woke up with their old hands, and the only thing that ever changed was that the hands got older. It must be his light or the eyes of him. I'll start again. It must be his eyes or the light or some stupid thing. He rolled off the bed, dislodging his watch and its broken strap. There it is, he thought, and made his way into the bathroom. Ricky wasn't a fat man, not exactly, but he was a little busty, and his navel stuck out of his hairy stomach like a whale's eye. He flip-flopped his hat. No, he didn't. He flip-flopped his way across the tiled floor, turned on the light above the bathroom mirror, and lifted his hands up like he was about to surrender. Now Ricky could see that his hands weren't the same as each other. The right hand was entirely familiar to him, the skin quite soft, almost downy, the nails badly manicured, even down to the small sickle-shaped scar on his palm that he'd got in a fight with a girl as a teenager. But the left hand was different somehow. The skin seemed more weather-beaten, harder and even tougher. The nails were small and ground down, and the fingers were chunky, the knuckles like nuggets of bone under the skin. Ricky brought his hand, the new hand, as he was trying not to call it, closer to his face. And then he saw it. At first he couldn't understand why he hadn't seen it right away. Maybe it had been the light, or maybe he just hadn't looked properly. All he could do, once he'd fully realised what he was looking at, was stare. On the knuckles of his right hand, carved in faded but deep ink and written in a shaky, just legible hand, were 4 letters: F-U-C-K. Thank you very much. Ricky's hand.